All right, we are back once again with another 2023 NFL season breakdown. I picked all 272 regular season games. It gave me some records. I'm breaking things down division by division, team by team, what you can expect for this upcoming NFL season. We took down the NFC South yesterday, and today we are headed to maybe the most competitive and best division in football. That would be the AFC North. The Bengals, your reigning champs, Joe Burr, Mr. Cool. Can he keep atop this division? Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett, always good, always threatening. Lamar Jackson's got himself a new contract. Could the Ravens end this offense, challenge them? And what about Cleveland and Deshaun Watson? If he can get back to shades of 2019, this is the most talented roster in the division. They could be kings of the North finally. But let's kick things off with those Brownies in Cleveland. Can they get it done this year? Okay, what to say about your Cleveland Browns? They've been the road stain of the NFL since coming back into the league in 1999. They've never had a good season. They've never won the division. But hey, it looked like they got things figured out. Quarterback Baker Mayfield leads them to a playoff game, leads them to a playoff win over division rival Pittsburgh, and then it all blows up in their face. Then they trade the farm, they acquire Deshaun Watson, they pay him the largest guaranteed, the first ever fully guaranteed contract in NFL history, and he's horrible for 6 games last year. Just a complete and total letdown. But some are saying, you take a year plus off, it's going to be rusty. They're looking to shake the rust off here. I thought this team had a good offseason. They really bolstered an already elite defensive unit in the front seven. Lots of defensive linemen. They paired Zadarius Smith now with Myles Garrett, who's arguably the best pass rusher in football. If not, he's in the top 3. So this defense is really going to feast at getting after the quarterback, making life miserable. What you have to do, you're in a division with a really good quarterback, a super fast quarterback who's pretty good most weeks, and Kenny Pickett, a guy who looks like he's going to be a franchise quarterback. So I think you have to get after it. This all relies on the offense here. Now, they're going to be run heavy. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. They're going to lean on Nick Chubb. They're going to pound the rock. They're going to grind things down. But you traded for Deshaun Watson and you paid him $230 million fully guaranteed for him to go and make plays and lead this team. This is a team that relies entirely on what we're going to get on Deshaun Watson. Are we going to see 2019 Deshaun Watson, who was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, or we're going to see 2022 Deshaun Watson, who was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL for those 6 games? Now, they played a little bit better than maybe the numbers suggest, but he was just flat out bad. This team was not good down the stretch. I'm not a huge believer in Kevin Stefanski. His game management skills are pretty piss poor. He also tends to become very, very predictable when he has when he's calling plays in the red zone, when everyone knows what you're going to do, he becomes super predictable, and he kind of feasts with less than top tier quarterbacks. If Deshaun Watson is a top tier quarterback, you see him win games with Jacoby Brissett. He did pretty good in Minnesota when Kirk Cousins was not as good as he is currently. So I think he prefers, doing a lot more with less than having a guy with more. Now, who knows if Watson is that guy with more? I think the Browns are actually going to be pretty competitive this year. I think we probably split the difference on a 2022 Watson and a 2019 Watson. So I'm thinking he's going to be okay, probably in that 15 range at quarterback. It's just, sometimes you just lose it, man. You don't go bad for 2 years and then all of a sudden get great again. I think he's just kind of a middle tier quarterback. Everything that's gone on off the field has weighed on him. I think it's a lot. I don't think this is a great coaching staff. I got the Browns at 9-8, which is going to be pretty close to being able to get one of those wild card spots. But this is a very tough division, and it's going to be very competitive. Speaking of tough teams in the division, how about the Pittsburgh Steelers? No matter what, Mike Tomlin never has a losing record as a head coach. And I think this is a very dangerous sleeper team in the AFC North. Pittsburgh finished the season great last year. Everyone talks about how good the Lions finished the season. Pittsburgh finished as good as them down the stretch to even get to 500. I liked what I saw out of Kenny Pickett. Now, he doesn't seem like he's going to be a world beater, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but he looks like he could be a guy, a franchise guy, in that 15 to 10 range, maybe even better in that 10 to 9 range, that Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott type area. If you can get that out of Kenny Pickett, you should be ecstatic, Pittsburgh. I know it's a far cry from Hall of Fame Pete Big Ben, but it's hard to get quarterbacks in this league. The problem with this team was the defense. The defense wasn't very good in the secondary, which is kind of crazy to think about. Mike Tomlin came into this league as a defensive backs coach. His defensive secondaries have been great. They added Patrick Peterson. They drafted Joey Porter Jr. I think those are big upgrades in the secondary. Now, Patrick Peterson's not what he used to be, but he's still more than capable out there. He can still cover guys. He can still make plays. He can still force turnovers, which is what you need. Now, TJ Watt, the best pass rusher in football, arguably. He's another guy like Myles Garrett, him and Nick Bosa. Those are the top three, in my opinion. If he can stay healthy, complete game wrecker, ruins games, destroys teams, and the record shows it for Pittsburgh. They're really good when TJ Watt plays. They're really awful when TJ Watt doesn't play. So he seems to be the linchpin on this defense, but the offense, I'm not too worried about here. Honestly, I think they're going to be good. They have a two-back system. Najee Harris may be on the way out. Warren stepping in. I really like what you see from him. He's an explosive every down runner that I think could slide into that starting role. I know Pittsburgh fans don't want to hear it, but it's just the truth. He kind of feels a lot like Tony Pollard, the guy who should be starting. I like Pickett, like I said. And what about George Pickens? A top wide receiver going into college, a five-star recruit, gets injured in college, kind of loses steam, loses some draft value, and he's lighting the world on fire. He was really good last year. He's great in the preseason this year. He makes one-handed catch after one-handed catch. He looks like a guy who could develop into one of those top 10, top 5 receivers. He's really, really special on the outside. You pair that with a decent tight end. I like in Freiermuth. He does a good job there. I think this is a balanced team that can run the football, throw the ball. You have safety valves for Pickett. I think this is a very good Steelers team. I think it's going to surprise people who aren't paying attention. Those who are, I think they know the Steelers should have a good season. They're playing a weaker schedule of the teams in the division. It's still a gauntlet of a division, but they play well in the division. Mike Tomlin's been here long enough to know what to expect. I got the Steelers at 10-7 and fighting for one of those playoff spots that should be good enough to get them in. I think the Steelers land themselves a wild card spot here at 10-7. Okay, how about Baltimore? Lamar Jackson's a happy man. He got his contract. He's paid, and they bring in a new offensive coordinator to totally change and revitalize this offense. No more of this bootleg run crap or whatever. We're going with spread option. We're throwing the ball all over the place. It's going to be a 2023 offense in Baltimore. And I think people are sleeping on Lamar Jackson is not a bad passer. Now, he does have some accuracy issues, but he's got a big arm and he can make big throws. So if they're able to push the ball downfield, keep teams honest, and then Lamar can do what Lamar does when he's on the ground, maybe avoid some of those hits because he has been nicked up each of the last 2 seasons. He kind of quit on the Ravens last year, even though they made the playoffs and they put up a valiant effort in that playoff game against Cincinnati. They also drafted wide receiver Zay Flowers out of Boston College. I'm a big fan of his. They add OBJ and Nelson Aguilar, so they're giving him all the weapons at wide receiver. This is by far the best wide receiver core he's had since being in the NFL. You got Rashad Bateman also coming back, and we all know about Mark Andrews at tight end. Now, they did lose some guys on the defense. They lost Calais Campbell, the leader of that defense. They also lost run-blocking tight end Josh Oliver, who's graded the best run-blocking tight end in the NFL. So if you're not running the ball as much, you don't necessarily need him. We're going to the passing game. You got a carousel of running backs back there. J.K. Dobbins hopefully can finally stay healthy because when he is, we saw what he could do at Ohio State. We've seen him in spurts in the NFL. He's been a top back when he's been healthy, when he's played, but injuries have just nagged at him. I'm a big buyer of Ravens stock this year. I think they're going to be very, very good. I think Lamar has a big bounce back season. I think the new offenses put defenses in awkward situations where you have to actually respect the pass. Then they can run the ball effectively, and then Lamar can just make plays with his legs that give you that extra added stuff. I think this is a Ravens team that's going to be very good. I'm maybe not as high on this defense as other people are. They kind of looked sort of out of wax, but people think this is going to be a very good defense. I think this will be a good defense. They did re-sign Roquan Smith, who they traded for from the Bears, so that's a nice add to that defense to anchor that team. I think this is a good football team, honestly. I think Harbaugh is a good coach. I think they're going to get shit done in Baltimore this year. They're going to be scary and might surprise some people how good they are. I got them at 12-4 right there for that division title. Is 12-4 enough? It definitely could be. Okay, now it's for your Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Cool, Jamar Chase, and the Bengals won the division back-to-back seasons. Been to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We're in the AFC Championship game last year. This is not my Bengals I grew up with, the disaster franchise. This is a legit team. They are always scary, and I thought they really did a good job addressing the needs. Now, last offseason, they went out and upgraded the offensive line, and it ultimately wasn't good enough. So what did they do? They go and poach Orlando Brown Jr. from rival Kansas City to really upgrade their offensive line. They also brought in guard Cody Ford. I really like the upgrades at offensive line. Now, Joe Burrow tweaked his calf in spring or training camp, whatever we call it here. Tweaked his calf in training camp early. Is that going to be a nagging injury that, lasts a while? Joe Burrow, he lives in the pocket, but he does make plays with his legs when he has to. He goes and picks up those 3rd and 6s on the ground when he needs to, when the play breaks down. I think this is going to be a big year for the offense. Jamar Chase, as good as advertised coming out of college, was nicked up last year. I think we're going to have a huge rebound season from Jamar Chase. You pair him with T. Higgins as the number 1, number 2 receiver in the NFL, and Tyler Boyd is just as good with them. Now, they did lose tight end Hayden Hurst. They brought in tight end Irv Smith Jr. from Minnesota to maybe fill that gap. I don't know. They never really used their tight ends enough anyway, but I'm a big tight end guy. I wish they had better tight ends. They did lose 2 guys in the secondary on defense, though. The Jesse Bates and Von Bell. Those are 2 of your safeties here. And this is kind of a no-name defense that does a really good job of forcing teams to just play bad and ugly football. You don't really know who they are, but they stop people. They ugly up games. They're a very good defensive unit. But I loved what they did in the draft. They addressed pass rusher corner, and they got safety Jordan Battle out of Alabama as their 3rd pick, who I'm a big fan of. So I think they did a great job attacking their needs. This is a really good football team. The question is, can you keep doing it? I don't know how good of a coach Zach Taylor is. I know Bengal fans don't really like him, which makes a lot of sense. I feel like a lot of teams don't like their head coaches, even if they're winning. But when you have Joe Cool under center, you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the outside, this is just a whole lot for teams to deal with. I love the Bengals here. I don't have them falling off. I got them winning 12 games again. I got them going 12-5 this season. And I do have them repeating for the 3rd straight year as division champion. It's going to come down to tiebreakers. I have them winning the tiebreakers against Baltimore. So this is a stacked division, and I think the Bengals come away once again as your champs. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who are you high on? Are you buying the Ravens and Lamar Jackson in the new offense? Are you down on the Bengals and the Browns? Maybe I'm going crazy with my Pittsburgh pick. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you all what your thoughts are on this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you want to support the channel more, click that join button or hit the link in the description and sign up for a channel membership. You get a lot of cool emojis and badges and stuff when you can use in our live streams during Monday Night Football games or any live streams. You get cool member shout outs, member only live streams. It helps support me, allowing me to make more of this great sports content for y'all. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.